This one comes from Career Advice. New coworker earns more than I do. My company is hiring again and the pay is $30,000 more than what I make. I'm in my 30s and have 5+ years of experience in my field. I started working for this company a year ago. I manage a number of accounts and have a great relationship with my clients. So much so that I often get compliments and referrals from them. My bosses are well aware. 5 months after I was hired, they had to hire another PM, Jay, as my portfolio was almost full. This person is in their early 20s, has 2 years of experience, and doesn't have the best work ethic, but likely because they are really fresh. Due to our number of clients growing, my company is hiring a new PM. The ad for the same position I have right now has a salary cap at $30,000 more than what I make. This new person would also be starting with an empty portfolio. I asked Jay how much they make, and to my surprise, their pay is $7,000 more than mine. They were also pretty shocked that I earn less than they do based on how much more work I do. I asked my boss today if we could have a meeting next week to discuss my 1 year at the company. I will be asking for a $20,000 raise, as it would put me $10,000 below the current cap for the position. I believe that sounds reasonable, but I like second opinions. Since starting at this job, I have done a lot to iron out our processes and have improved our campaigns quite a lot. I like my job, but it sucks to get screwed.
Yeah, no, I mean, corporate's always going to do that. Corporate people, corporates are assholes. Corporate's always going to do that. They're going to try and pay you as little as possible and get away with it. And you got to let them not get away with it. So I can almost already know where the conversation is going with her boss, that, yeah, we're not going to be able to increase your wage by that much. I can almost see that coming. You need to go find a new job that will do that for you, because like they're going to just hire someone else. And it makes sense that the new hire gets paid more than you do, regardless of what they're actually doing, because like that's kind of how the job works. When you're hiring more people in, you're going to have to pay more. And it's kind of funny because when you have to hire a new person in, like, you know, you're going to pay more for that new person than you did the old person.
I know.
And the old
you
person,
would think they know.
Yeah, you think they know. And the old person knows how to do the job.
Yeah.
Portfolio manager. That sounds like what your old job was.
My old job, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Teresa? You're the corporate portfolio manager person.
So I actually experienced this in my last job.
Yeah.
Where I was getting paid more than my partner in the portfolio, who was doing more of the work.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I had my CPA, and they didn't. But the work that she was doing was a lot more and a lot harder than what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she flat out told me, like, I'm getting paid less than you. Like, and it was only because we were sharing like bonus, we were comparing bonuses because our bonuses were based on our portfolio together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so she like got a glimpse of like my salary, and she was like shocked. And then she didn't do anything about it. I was like, okay, you need to tell them.
You need to do something.
Well, actually, sorry, she did. She did tell them. And then their excuse was, that's not our policy. We can't give you a raise mid-year. Our policy is going to be next year.
You also get didn't you know there's company policy not to share your salary with with your coworkers? They don't want you sharing and comparing, because then the person who's underpaid will find out they're underpaid.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important to talk about salaries, I feel. I feel like it's actually so important.
You need to know whether you're getting taken advantage of or not.
Yes.
And then go to another company and you'll get a significant pay raise.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why like jumping from company to company is very...
It's the new way.
It is the new way. Like, you almost have to in order to make a living.
There's
in this economy.
nothing wrong with applying for a job. And then there's nothing wrong with if you get a job offer and they're willing to pay you more money to accept that job offer. There's nothing wrong with that.
Or to use it as leverage.
If you don't want to stay, but hey, it's more money, you could go back and be like, hey, I got recruited. This is a job offer on my table. I actually really like it here, though. Can we work? Can you match this so that I will stay?
Yep. So there's an update. I requested a meeting and we scheduled it for today. They offered me the exact amount that my coworker makes and then asked if I had a number in mind. I said that while this is a good start, it didn't feel like a rise and more of a leveling of the department. I let them know that I knew that Jay made the suggested amount. They clearly started messaging each other. This was done over Zoom, and they looked a bit flustered. I told them, hey, that's how it works nowadays. People should and will discuss salaries. I then asked for the amount I had in mind. For reference, I am a female and Jay is a male. They first said how they didn't even know that Jay made that amount, which is obviously all bullshit as my boss manages payroll and is actively hiring. There was more bullshit said, but they eventually agreed on my number. I got a $20,000 raise.
Woo, let's go! One for the win!
The meeting ended with one of the bosses saying that while we don't mind us discussing pay with each other, it can lead to toxicity and we should avoid getting down that path.
No shit, toxicity for the corporate
yeah,
budget.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're being outed, bro. Anyways, I don't think they were expecting me to have a spine, but it worked for once.
Good job.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Love that.
I don't think Mr. Jake was getting paid more because he was a guy. I think it's just because he was a new position and she's a female. I don't think she was being underpaid because she was a girl. I think she's being underpaid because
she's an existing employee. Yeah. I mean, we can't assume that, but companies do still have a wage gap between genders. But
do you think so?
Yeah.
Why?
There's stats.
What stats?
I don't know. They're stats.
Okay.
I've seen them.
Okay, but if company was like, I'm gonna pay the females less money than the males, why wouldn't they just only hire women? Why would they even hire guys? If like I can get cheaper labor over here, why wouldn't they continue to do it?
I don't know.
I watched a video. I don't know if it was right or not. Anybody can correct me, but they were saying that the stats, the one person is trying to argue that women make 70 cents on the dollar compared to men, and they were arguing back saying that it's the measuring is being done wrong. It would be like the men are working more hours, and I don't know, just a bunch of other things. But it was just like the main thing was like, why wouldn't corporate just hire all the positions to be the cheaper person?
I think men are more respected than women. They're seen as smarter, better.
But at the end of the day, if it's all about just getting the job done, just being a customer support person or whatever.
Sometimes it's not just about that though.
But a lot of the positions are like the corporate structure is like a pyramid. Like they're essentially a pyramid in the sense that you have the CEO, and then below the CEO you have more managers, and then you have more supervisors than managers, and then you have more floor workers than supervisors. You know what I mean? One person manages a bunch of other people. So if you can have at the bottom the cheapest labor force possible, wouldn't you want that for your bottom line as a company?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I think also like the discrepancy in pay could also be in terms of like promotions and stuff as well, because men tend to get promoted and be in those higher ranked jobs than women. Like it's always like, if there is a woman in that role, it's like, oh, this woman CEO or this, like it's always stated before, like,
yeah,
as like an accomplishment, but you never hear, oh, this man CEO or this man CFO or whatever.
The times are changing though. It's going to take, take a lot more time. Like they're starting to get there, but I don't know if I believe that women are paid less than men. Yeah. I don't know. I'm open to be told either way, but I think there's a legal part, and there's audits, and there's accountants, and I don't think that legally anybody can get away with that anymore.
I disagree.
Okay. I would love to be proven right with the facts on that, but it just doesn't make sense to me because I don't think legally you can get away with that, because the accounting departments and audits and all of that stuff.
They can decide anybody's salary. They can decide whatever.
They can, but if there's a statistic going on, people are going to say something and they're going to get caught and they're going to get fined. And then also...
They wouldn't be fined.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Oh, is it?
It's illegal. You can't legally do that. Oh. So they would legally get fined if they were doing that. So it's in our laws that you can't pay women less than men for the same position. So therefore, if a company could get away with it, why wouldn't they hire only women to do something? It's in our equal labor law rules.
Ontario. In Ontario, the hourly wage gap has narrowed 6% points. 6 percentage points since 1998 to 13% in 2022. When looking at average hourly wage.
That's average hourly wage. I'm talking about legal what a company can legally do. That's assuming the averages between all the jobs out there and all the people working and what a female staff person is working versus a male staff working, which has a huge amount of variables, including the amount of hours that someone's worked.
Yeah, okay. I think it's
But legally we
very
can't.
dependent. Okay.
Legally we can't. We're not allowed to.
yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I don't think huge corporations, if they could get away with hiring only women, they would. I mean, there was a time back in the day, in like the 20s, I think, or whatever it was, like war times, where they did pay women less, and the factories hired more women workers because they could pay them less. We're not allowed to do that anymore. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Guys.
That's where I'm at. Let us know where you guys are at.
All right. Top comment. Congrats for doing this. Congrats for advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
While this is great, I suggest you also consider updating your resume and slowly seeing what's out there. Better to be ready just in case.
Yeah, you'll probably get another $20,000 pay raise.
Yeah, maybe.
How's yeah?